This lesson is about adjective endings with Ein words. Yeah, there's no end to endings in German. Okay, now, what's an Ein word? Do you remember? When we replaced der Mann, the man, and we wanted to say a man, we said ein Mann. If we want to say this is my husband, mein Mann. Alright, the Ein words are all possessive adjectives too. Mein, dein, unser, euer. Remember, we just learned these a little while ago. Ihr, and so on. These are all considered Ein words. And now we are going to look at some examples what happens when we match an adjective ending up with an Ein word. So der Mann, ein Mann. Die Frau became eine Frau with an E ending. Ein Mann, no ending. If we say das Haus, we replace it with an Ein word, a house. Did not have an ending either. Okay, now, when we see ein Mann oder ein Haus, we really don't know whether they are masculine or neuter, right? Because the ending doesn't give it away. So we have to look up what it originally was. So we know ein Mann, Mann, if you look it up, is a masculine noun, right? Frau is a feminine noun because we can tell by the E. And Haus is a neuter noun. So originally, the original noun was a der word. The original noun was a die word. The original noun was a das word. Okay, and that's very important because now we have to borrow endings for masculine and neuter nouns. And those endings will tell us whether they're masculine or neuter. Okay, so if we have Mann and we say a nice man. So let's put the word net in here. We know Ein doesn't tell us what it is, right? We looked it up. We know it's a der word. So we borrow the ending from the der word and stick it on the adjective. Ein netter Mann. And then we definitely know that it's a male. The same thing goes for Frau. Frau comes from die. So if we say a nice woman, we borrow the E from the die, stick it on the adjective, eine nette Frau. If we have a house, let's say it's an old house, right? Alt. Now ein doesn't tell us whether it's a der, die, or das word, right? Ein. So, but we know that house comes from das. So we borrow the ending, change the A to the E, ein altes Haus. And those are the adjective endings when we use Ein words. Okay, let's do some examples. So remember, Ein words coming from der, put an ER in the adjective. Ein words coming from die, borrow the E. Ein words coming from das, borrow the ES, and add it on to the basic adjective. It's not too complicated. Again, the trick is knowing whether the word is der, die, or das, which I think is the hardest thing in the German language to remember. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to write a sentence and you are going to tell me what the adjective ending would be. Dein Pullover kostet 20 Euro. That's really not very expensive. Alright, and let's say neu. Your new sweater costs 20 euros. Alright, now, what is sweater? Is it der, die, or das? Now, it happens to be a der word. And we remembered if you replace der with an ein, it becomes ein. And then we learned that we have to borrow the original ending, which is der, and stick it on the noun, on the adjective. So, dein neuer Pullover kostet 20 Euro. Remember, Pullover is a der word. So we borrow the ending from the der, stick it on the adjective, and that gives us the sentence. Dein neuer Pullover kostet 20 Euro. How about this one? Now, we're talking about her blouse costing 20 euros, yeah? And let's use the color red. Alright, Bluse. We can tell by this ending actually that it's a D word. Yeah? Die, eine. So we borrow the ending from the D word, stick it on the adjective, die rote Bluse. Ihre rote Bluse. And ihre means her, right? Her red blouse, dein meant your new sweater. I'm using possessive adjectives here to give you some examples. What about this one here? Mein Hemd. Again, kostet 20 Euro. Let's use rot again. That's the easiest one to use. Now, Hemd. What is Hemd? Hemd is a shirt, right? We know Hemd is a das word. Okay, so we borrow the ending from das, stick it on the adjective. Mein rotes Hemd kostet 20 Euro. That wasn't too complicated, right? Just remember to borrow from the original der, die, das word. Borrow the endings and stick them on the adjective, and you'll be all set. And that's all 4 adjective endings with Ein Words.